Chapter 3164. You guys go eat. We're all hungry. Boss. But. The subordinate wanted to say something. But seeing Lu Yan's murderous eyes, he didn't say anything else. When the subordinate went out, he was a bit flustered. How was it? What did our boss say? He told us to eat. We're all hungry. What's going on? Those people are in the lobby downstairs and will come up soon. They're obviously coming for us. Yeah. I told the boss. Didn't the boss say to kill them? Oh. Damn it. What should we do now? Let's eat according to the boss. Just like that, the subordinates thought they were going to show off their skills and kill them, but Lu Yan didn't agree. So they were in a difficult situation. Outside the revolving restaurant on the top floor, the subordinates sat in a small private room. Lu Yan also arranged a table of seafood for her subordinates. But because they were worried about the killers downstairs, they ate with anxiety. Who do you think those killers are coming for? Is it our boss's sister? Amy suddenly asked. It's hard to say. Our boss has enemies all over the world. Maybe they're coming for us. It doesn't make sense. We've been here for a long time. How come the killers came as soon as her sister arrived? So, Amy, what do you want to say? A male subordinate glanced at Amy. I just think our boss and young Master Chow might be in danger. Why don't you guys eat? I'll go protect them. Amy was about to stand up. Forget it. With your skills, even 10 of you can't compare to one of our bosses. Why would she need you to protect them? Besides, didn't our boss tell us to eat peacefully? She must have a plan in her mind. You shouldn't get involved. I'm just worried. Amy was still worried. Amy, you seem to be very attentive to our boss recently. What's wrong with you? Are you in love with our boss? Lesbians aren't good. A chubby man laughed at her. Shut your mouth. Alright, all of you stop arguing. Just do as the boss says. Sit down, eat, and wait and see. An older man who rarely spoke was a little annoyed. Amy wasn't very happy. She seemed to be worried and didn't eat much during the meal. The people in the bakery seemed to be very happy. Lu Yan helped Huamin peel the prawns and put them on Huamin's plate. Just eat it. I heard that eating shrimps is good for the fetus. It's good for calcium. Is that a shrimp? My God, do you want to study hard before showing off to Sister Mion? Sister Mion is a doctor, of course she knows more than you do. It's my pleasure. What can you do about it? Sister. Don't mind him. Lu Yan smiled at Huamin as if she was coaxing a child. Does he eat too? Brother-in-law, our Yan seems to have done everything you should. Xiao Fei smiled. It's okay. We're sisters after all. Qin Chu was very open-minded and thought it was rare for Lu Yan to have such a cute side. At this moment, Qin Chu's phone rang. He calmly picked up the phone. Okay. I got it. Downstairs, Huamion's subordinates had seen the group of men in black come in. Judging by their light footsteps, they were probably assassins. Qin Chu was about to stand up and take care of this. Lu Yan suddenly stood up and said, Hey, you guys eat first. I need to go to the washroom. Yan, isn't there a washroom in the private room? Huamin froze when he saw Lu Yan was about to leave. I like to use the one outside. It's bigger. Lu Yan smiled slightly and turned to leave. Xiao Fei and Qin Chu looked at each other and seemed to know what Lu Yan was going to do. Chapter 3165. What's with Yan's temper? Huamin was the most innocent person in the group. He really believed that Lu Yan liked the washroom outside. She's always like this. He's so capricious. It's okay, Sister Mion. Let's eat. Xiao Fei, you haven't been back to your family for a long time, right? Huamin suddenly remembered Xiao Fei. In order to be with Lu Yan, he had betrayed his family and was hunted by his family members several times. Yeah, I won't go back. I won't go back unless my old man allows me to marry Yan, Xiao Fei said calmly and lowered his head to eat a piece of salmon sashimi. In fact, elders are all like that. They're tough on the outside but soft on the inside. Maybe your father will get over it after a while. Don't be too sad. Sister Mion, I'm not sad. I know my old man very well. Yes, everyone values harmony. Don't let your family fall out with each other because of your relationship. I think Yan must feel bad too. Yeah. Xiao Fei nodded. He listened to everything Huamin said. He knew his sister was a doctor who could save people. She was kind and innocent. Of course, in their world, Huamin was a very innocent girl. She had never experienced a life like his and Lu Yan's. The top floor where they ate was the 78th floor. After Lu Yan walked out, she didn't go to the washroom. Instead, she walked up the stairs to the 74th floor. When she arrived, she hid behind the door, as if she was waiting for something. Soon she heard rustling footsteps. Someone seemed to be walking up the stairs. The group of assassins took the elevator to the 70th floor. In order not to alert the enemy, they got off the elevator and planned to walk up. They completed the mission without anyone noticing. But to their surprise, the first person pushed open the door without warning. Before he could see the corridor, Lu Yan covered his mouth from behind and slit his throat with a dagger. He didn't even make a sound before Lu Yan dragged him out and tossed him aside. The people behind her realized something was wrong and wanted to draw their guns, but they were one step slower than Lu Yan. In such a narrow space like the stairwell, pistols were not enough. It all depended on who was more agile. In one breath, Lu Yan killed 2 of them by cutting their throats. The remaining 3 rushed forward together. One of them, who was further away from Lu Yan, was about to shoot when he felt his wrist go numb. Then he saw a silver needle flying at him. There should be a strong anesthetic on it. Then the man lay down on his back. The people on the left and right brandished their fists and rushed forward to attack from both sides. Lu Yan leaped into the air and did a split in midair. Using his legs to press against their throats, he then closed his legs together and stood upside down on the wall. Unknowingly, a dagger appeared on his left and right. With a flick of his left and right hands, the last 2 men were also lying on the ground. On the 74th floor, blood flowed like a river. The air was filled with the smell of blood. The entire process took less than 3 minutes. Looking at the dying killers lying on the ground, Lu Yan glanced at them indifferently. Then he took out a white handkerchief from his pocket, wiped his hands and turned to leave. "Boss, did you go out?" When Lu Yan returned to the top floor, one of her subordinates came out and bumped into her. "Go to the 74th floor and clean it up for me. There's a survivor who was shot with an anesthetic. Remember to leave him for clues." "Also, are you done?" His subordinate suddenly realized. "If I'm not done, should I keep them for the new year?" Then Lu Yan opened the door and entered the private room. As soon as she sat down, Huamin frowned. "Yan, why do I smell blood on you?" As a doctor, Huamin was very sensitive to such things. Chapter 3166. Did I? Lu Yan lowered her head guiltily, not daring to look into Huamin's eyes. Qiao Fei and Qin Chu looked at each other again, confirming their suspicions. "I'm a doctor, I'm very sensitive to this." Huamin was sure he wasn't mistaken. "Okay, if that's the case, sis, I'll tell you the truth." Huamin tilted his head and looked at Lu Yan worriedly. He was really worried about Yan's safety. "Actually, I'm using a special perfume that smells like blood." It's very unique, right?" Lu Yan started talking nonsense. "Perfume?" Huamin obviously didn't believe her. "Yeah, it's a perfume. But it's just a trial version. I'll get you a bottle when I develop an improved version." "Sis. I don't want it. I don't like the smell. It's weird." Huamin shook his head. Qiao Fei touched his nose and almost laughed out loud. She had just killed someone and now she said it was perfume. How naive was Sister Mian to believe her nonsense. She even said it with a straight face. "Come on, let's eat." "Sis, you should eat more." Lu Yan didn't want to talk about it anymore, so she changed the topic. Huamin didn't ask any more questions. Over the years, her sister's experience was completely different from hers. She understood all of this. After dinner, Huamin was a bit tired. After all, she was 3 months pregnant. It was easy to get tired. Seeing Huamin's tiredness, Lu Yan didn't have the heart to stay with her sister even though she wanted to. "Sis, I booked a suite for you. You should rest early. We're not far from your room. This floor is full of our people so you can rest well." "Okay." Huamin nodded. After dinner they went back to their own rooms. When Qiao Fei followed Lu Yan to her room, he asked casually, "You could have just asked your subordinates to deal with those small fries. Why did you have to do it yourself?" "Do you think I wanted to? If it wasn't for the fact that I was afraid that those idiots would fight too loudly and scare my sister, I wouldn't have had to walk up a few floors and bet on those people. So, how many minutes did you take this time?" Qiao Fei raised his eyebrows. "It should take less than 3 minutes. One person 3 minutes? You've regressed, little ancestor." Qiao Fei was startled. Lu Yan didn't speak. Instead, she gestured 6 with her hand and rushed into the bathroom to take a shower. Xiao Fei shrugged helplessly. It wasn't fun at all. 1 against 6, and in less than 3 minutes the most important thing was that these 6 were not rookies, but professional killers with guns in their hands. However, Lu Yan was afraid that Huamin would hear their gunshots and get scared, so she didn't give them a chance to shoot. Apart from one survivor, the other 5 were all dead. When Lu Yan came out of the shower, one of her subordinates knocked on the door and came in. Xiao Fei was playing games on his cell phone. He never interfered with Lu Yan's private life, but Lu Yan didn't guard against him and let him listen in on everything. "Boss, how's that guy? Is he awake?" "He's awake, but he won't say anything." "He won't say anything?" "Yeah, we took turns to beat him up. He passed out a few times and his organs bled, but he still won't say who sent him. He's got some backbone." Lu Yan smiled. "The way I see it, they must be from Ian's side. There's no need to ask, just kill them." "Don't. I have a feeling that Ian didn't send them." Lu Yan had fought with Ian for years, so she knew his style. This time he sent an assassin straight to the top floor, which didn't seem like Ian's style. Most importantly, she didn't know if these people were here for her or her sister. Chapter 3167. Is there someone else watching us? Her subordinate was puzzled. "Where is he?" Lu Yan asked as she dried her hair with a towel. "He's in our room next door. The bathroom is closed. Amy is pushing his head into the water. But it looks like she doesn't want to talk." "I'll go check it out." Lu Yan walked out of the room. At the door, she turned around and glanced at Xiao Fei. "Hey Psycho Xiao, aren't you going to watch the show? What's so interesting about torture?" Xiao Fei didn't seem interested at all. Lu Yan didn't say more. She turned around and walked out, followed by her subordinates. When Lu Yan entered the bathroom next door, Amy was still pushing the man's head into the water. Even so, the man still didn't want to talk. His hands and feet were tied up, but there was no tape on his mouth to make it easier for him to spit. "They bring him here." Lu Yan sat on the European-style leather chair in the living room. She wore a white bathrobe and her hair fell naturally with water droplets on it. This scene could not be any more beautiful. Who would have thought that such a woman was someone who had been in close contact with the Grim Reaper? Hearing Lu Yan's words, Amy dragged the man out and forced him to kneel on the ground. Lu Yan glanced at the man's face and was a bit surprised. The man didn't speak but glared at Lu Yan fiercely. "Who sent you? Are you sure you don't want to talk?" Lu Yan asked in Chinese. The man didn't speak. "Boss, he might be Vietnamese. Look at his pointy mouth and monkey cheeks. He might not understand Chinese." "No, he definitely understands." Lu Yan was almost certain. She walked up to the man, stepped on his shoulder and took off the pendant from his neck. "Give it back." The man seemed to explode and tried to get up in agitation. Then Amy stepped on his back and he fell to the ground again. "See? I told you he can understand Chinese." Lu Yan snorted. "Boss is mighty. You can even see this." The subordinates were also full of admiration. "The pendant around my neck. It's written in Chinese." Lu Yan showed it to the others and read it aloud. There was only one word on it. Jin. Vietnamese. Then he fell in love with a girl from China. "Her name is Jin, right?" Lu Yan speculated. The man seemed slightly surprised. He didn't know how Lu Yan knew. "Since that's the case, you should live a good life. Why did you become an assassin? Moreover, you became a dog-like assassin." "Cut the crap. If you want to kill me, just do it." Although that person could speak Chinese, it was obvious that he did not speak it fluently. It seemed that he was really not a local. "How much did the person who sent you pay you? Tell me and I'll give you double, no triple. What do you think?" Lu Yan smiled. The man glared at Lu Yan but didn't say anything. He didn't seem to be interested in money. "What? You don't care about money? Then let's change the deal. Tell me who sent you and I'll let your beloved woman go. Otherwise, I might accidentally break the neck of this woman named Jin." "Haha, that's funny. There are so many women named Jin in China. Can you find them all? Can you kill all of them? Lu Yan, aren't you too arrogant?" The man seemed to laugh at Lu Yan's naivety. "Good. Now that you know my name, everything will be easy." Lu Yan smiled mysteriously. Chapter 3168. Lu Yan, don't fucking threaten me. Others might be scared of you, but I'm not. Kill me if you want. This man seemed to be prepared to be killed if he failed the mission. He came with 6 people and was full of confidence. But before they arrived, Lu Yan killed them all. He was the only one left out of the 6 of them. In such a situation, the man knew that he was doomed. "Give me the laptop." Lu Yan reached out her hand. Her subordinate immediately took a super thin laptop and put it in Lu Yan's hand. She put the laptop on her bathrobe and typed nimbly on the keyboard. Soon she pulled up a file. Lu Yan turned the laptop to the male assassin and read slowly. Hu Baoming, male from Vietnam, Nha Trang, 34 years old, a relative who fled to China with his family 20 years ago. He has been living in the estuary on the border of China and runs a car repair shop. His wife, Wang Shuzhen, from Yunnan, China, 28 years old. They have a son and a daughter. Although they are husband and wife, they have never gotten a marriage certificate, so the children are still illegal. You're pretty good. You've been hiding your identity as an assassin. You've been living in the estuary for years. Although you're poor, you've been living a good life. Why do you have to go back to your old job? Besides, if you die, what will happen to your wife and child? The man was dumbfounded by Lu Yan's words. He didn't expect Lu Yan to find out all his information with a single laptop. She even knew about his childhood in Nha Trang. Your daughter is your older sister. She's 8 years old today. Her name is Hu Yanhong, right? Your son is only 5 years old. His name is Hu Yanjun. Don't touch my family. Hearing Lu Yan's detailed description, even knowing the names of his daughter and son, he couldn't remain as calm as before. So, you still don't want to tell me who your master is? Lu Yan asked patiently. The man was silent for a while and then said slowly, "If I tell you, my wife and child will die." "It seems you've been caught red-handed." Lu Yan chuckled. "As an assassin, if you're married and have a child, you shouldn't go back to your old job. If you want to stay an assassin, don't get married. You're in no position." Lu Yan sighed slightly. "Second miss, I know you're resourceful. This time I did it alone. I don't want to implicate my family. I'll pay for it with my life." With that, the man was about to bite his tongue and commit suicide. "Don't. If I can't get anything out of you, I'll be very upset. If I'm upset, I'll be a killer. If you don't want to negotiate, then I can only send your wife and child to reunite in hell." Hearing Lu Yan's words, the man paused and didn't even have the courage to bite his tongue. Seeing his hesitation, Lu Yan added, "If you tell me, I'll guarantee your wife and children's safety. I'll make sure they live a comfortable life. What do you think?" "Are you serious?" The man's eyes lit up. "Of course." "Okay, then I'll tell you. This time I was called back by one of my former companions. He said it's a big job for 10 million USD. There are 6 of us and the beauty will get more than 1 million USD. I thought that with the money I could bring my wife and children to the provincial capital to live and pay for them to go to a good school. I didn't think, get to the point. Who's so generous as to pay 10 million USD? Lu Yan tilted her head and asked. "It's..." The man seemed a bit afraid of that name. Chapter 3169. Lu Yan smiled slightly. She stood up and slowly approached the assassin. "Boss." One of her subordinates reminded her kindly. Lu Yan ignored them. She walked up to the man and put her ear close to his ear. Finally, Lu Yan heard the name and smiled slightly. Then she tossed a fruit knife to the man. "Good. Now you can die," said Lu Yan. "What about my wife and child?" The man still couldn't let go. "Don't worry. I, Lu Yan, am a woman of my word." The man picked up the fruit knife and stabbed it into his heart. "You guys clean up. I'm sleepy. I'm going to sleep." "Yes, boss." "Sister Yan." Amy called her. Lu Yan turned around. "Did he say who sent him?" "I've already said it. I know what I'm doing." "Oh, I see." Amy saw that her boss didn't seem to want to talk about it, so she didn't ask further. She was afraid that her boss would get suspicious. In a spacious suite, Huamin and Qin Chu took a shower and went to bed. Huamin lay quietly in Mr. Qin's arms. They hadn't seen this scene in a long time. Although it had only been 20 days, the couple felt as if a century had passed. "Mion." "Yeah. What are you thinking about?" "I'm thinking about Yen." "What's wrong?" Qin Chu stroked Huamin's hair and asked softly. During dinner, Xiao Yan went to the washroom. "Yeah." Qin Chu nodded. "After I came back, there was a faint smell of blood on my body. So, that's why I think it's not as simple as a perfume. This girl must have killed someone again." Huamin said worriedly. "Honey, Lu Yan is a top assassin and has her own mercenary group. That's the rule of the game. Stopping her from killing is more important than stopping her from eating. Sometimes, even if Lu Yan doesn't want to kill, she has so many enemies after so many years. Do you think she won't fight back? Qin Chu tried to explain to his wife the nature of Lu Yan's work. I understand. I didn't ask Yan not to kill. I just think that she's still young and shouldn't continue to live such a life of violence. Yan, you must have saved a lot of money over the years, right? It's not just a lot. She's probably one of the richest women in the world. Even Hollywood actresses don't have as many as her, Qin Chu said with a smile. Well, if that's the case, if you stop, you can live a comfortable life. Honey, it's not that simple. She can't do as she pleases. Yeah, that's just an idea. When she and Xiao Fei get married and have their own baby, she'll have to make plans. I'm just planning for her. Yeah, my wife is very smart. You can't hide anything from her sharp eyes. Qin Chu smiled and lowered his head to kiss her forehead. I can't say that I have sharp eyes, but I'm definitely not stupid. I felt it when we were eating. You and Xiao Fei should know what's going on. The two of you looked at each other as if you knew what was going on. You were hiding it from me. No, I just think that you're pregnant and don't need to know certain things. Yeah, I understand. Huimin sighed slightly and nodded. Just then she felt Mr. Qin's hand slipping into her bathrobe. What are you doing? Chapter 3170. Why don't you guess? Mr. Qin's lips curved up slightly with a hint of wickedness. Huimin's thoughts immediately went astray. Her cheeks flushed as she pressed down on her husband's restless hand. Honey, you can't. Why not? Qin Chu teased her on purpose. I'm pregnant right now and I'm not allowed to do it before the 3rd month. Which one? Qin Chu continued to interrogate her. If you know, then don't play dumb with me, okay? President Qin. Dr. Hua, I've been thinking about you so much that I'm getting stupid. If you don't tell me, I really won't understand. Bullshit. You know what I mean, you can't do it like that. Then what should I do? I'm a normal man. Honey, look at how painful it is for me to endure. Mr. Qin pretended to be wronged. Just endure it for a little longer. After a month or 4 months, you'll be fine, okay? Huimin put her index finger next to Qin Chu's lips and said mysteriously, "No, a month is too long. It's torture." Mr. Qin put her index finger in his mouth and sucked it playfully. His flirtatious actions and expressions made Dr. Hua blush. Then what should we do? Huimin couldn't bear it anymore. What should we do? Honey. Qin Chu rested his head on Huimin's belly. His belly was tightly pressed against hers, but she didn't feel any pressure at all. Ahem, then, how about I buy you a blow-up doll? Mr. Qin almost vomited blood when he heard what she said. What a weird wife. She was so generous that she would buy her husband a blow-up doll. Before Qin Chu could refuse, Huimin added, "Which celebrity's face do you want? Which one is prettier, Bing Bing's face or Jiling's?" As a doctor, Huimin knew a lot about sex. She often heard about it from her colleagues in the reproductive health department. Nowadays, many single men were obsessed with blow-up dolls, and most of them were attracted to beautiful female celebrities. I don't like those. Then which one do you like? I'll make one for you, honey. All right, then let's make one according to your face and body proportions. It would be perfect if your breasts were a little bigger, Qin Chu said seriously. Only then did Huimin realize that Qin Chu was playing a prank on him. Suddenly, a fist landed on his back. Chairman Qin, are you kidding me? I wouldn't dare. Dr. Hua, oh no, Director Hua. All right, stop messing around, all right? I'm laughing so hard that I can't breathe. Will it hurt our baby? No, if he can't even handle this little setback, then he wouldn't be our child. Can you have a point? But honey, do you know why my baby was fine when I jumped off a cliff? Huimin suddenly thought of that incident and casually mentioned it. Huasiqian must have made preparations to protect you, Qin Chu guessed. Smart. Yes, Huasiqian did something to the wedding gown. It has the effect of reducing impact. The funny thing is that Jack told me this. That psycho. Damn it, he scared me to death. Every time I see him, my hair stands on end. Did you know? If Huasiqian is psycho enough, then he's 100 times more evil than Huasiqian. How can his second personality be so dark? Huimin hugged Qin Chu's neck and sighed slightly. I actually want to meet Jack, Qin Chu said slowly. Huh. Why? Huimin was confused, not understanding her husband's move. Chapter 3171. If we want to deal with Ian, Jack will be more useful than Huasiqian, Qin Chu said word by word. You want to deal with Ian? Huamin finally realized her husband's crazy idea. Yes. Oh my god, honey. He's someone we can't afford to offend. Huamin never thought about how her husband could deal with someone that even Yen couldn't deal with. Also, Ian wasn't an ordinary suspect, he was a terrorist. He was willing to do anything and he had no bottom line. No matter how many people died, he wouldn't feel guilty at all. Huamin didn't think a person like him could be called a human. He was probably a special product of human genetic mutation. He was an evil existence. Don't worry. After all, Ian is a human, not a god. He's not as scary as you think. I told you, no matter who he is, as long as he's a threat to you, I'll fight with my life. Hearing Mr. Qin's words, Huamin felt warmth in her heart. Honey, do you feel tired when you love me? Seems like, since high school you've been helping me with all kinds of things because you love me. I suddenly feel like I'm not easy to deal with. Honey, if you find a good socialite, get married, have kids and live a normal life, maybe you'll be more comfortable than you are now. Huamin suddenly felt guilty. If it weren't for her special identity, she wouldn't have involved someone like Ian. She also wouldn't let Qin Chu go against Ian. Silly, why do you say that? How can a normal socialite compare to our Dr. Hua? Qin Chu gently picked up Huamin and placed her on his lap. Then he leaned against the big bed behind him. Being held in Qin Chu's arms like this, Huamin felt safe and happy. We've known each other for so many years, let's not talk about this. Qin Chu kissed her lips. But I feel like I've dragged you down. If you didn't love me, you wouldn't have to suffer so much. Huasiqian came for me. You're innocent. The more Huamin spoke, the sadder she became. Perhaps it was due to the excessive secretion of female hormones in her body during pregnancy. She had become prone to letting her imagination run wild. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have any happiness to speak of. So, idiot, don't say those words. Marrying you is the best thing that I, Qin Chu, have ever done in my life. With you I have everything. With you I have a future. Mr. Qin was never good with words, so he rarely confessed his feelings. But every time he spoke, his words were simple, yet they made people feel warm inside. With tears in her eyes, Huamin hugged Qin Chu's neck and acted like a spoiled child. Honey, you're so good to me, how can I repay you? Just be with me in the next life. Okay. Huamin nodded. And the next life, the one after that too, Qin Chu said. Okay, we'll always be together. If we die in this life, I'll knock Meng Po out when we cross the bridge of forgetfulness. Then we'll take the opportunity to sneak over with our memories. We'll be together in the next life. That makes sense. Qin Chu lovingly patted Huamin's head and gave his wife a big thumbs up for her wit. Then if we're together forever, will you find me boring? Huamin asked coyly. Of course I will, Qin Chu said deliberately. You. Huamin was about to complain. Then Qin Chu continued, so, you have to wear lingerie for me from time to time. It's best if you can do a pole dance, a maid outfit, a bunny girl, I want all of them. Oh, and a nipple, not bad. That way I won't get bored. Do you want a whip dipped in chili oil? Huamin pinched Qin Chu's face with both hands and asked with a grin. Chapter 3172. Whoa. Dr. Hua, you have a strong taste in women. Huh. Honey, can't you talk normally? Don't be so funny. Huamin couldn't stop laughing. Weren't you the one who said that the whip should be dipped in chili oil? Mr. Qin looked innocent. Fine. I'm speechless. We went from a confession of love to the bridge of forgetfulness to Meng Po soup to sexy underwear and a whip dipped in chili oil. I don't think ordinary people can keep up with us. We don't need ordinary people to keep up with us. Honey, I think you can be called Qin Hun. Hello, Qin Hun's wife. Mr. Qin was witty. Huamin. In the end, Huamin lost to Mr. Qin in the battle of eloquence. After a tiring day and a full meal, Huamin soon felt sleepy. She nestled in Qin Chu's arms and fell into a deep sleep. She even snored softly, looking extremely adorable. Qin Chu, on the other hand, didn't feel sleepy at all. During the days when Huamin was missing, he hadn't had a good night's sleep. After the surgery, the professor warned him not to take that kind of medicine again. Therefore he had to endure the insomnia. Qin Chu hugged Huamin tightly as if he was afraid that if he let go, she would disappear. He knew that his love for Huamian had reached a point where he couldn't be more obsessed with her. To put it in a positive way, it was an unforgettable love. To put it in a negative way, Qin Chu felt that he was no different from Hua Xiqian. He knew he couldn't go on like this. He had to change and didn't want Hua Mian to know. Therefore, before he came, he told everyone not to tell Hua Mian about his psychological barrier. Otherwise she would be worried sick. In the other suite, Lu Yan seemed to be in a good mood and finished 3 bottles of red wine in less than an hour. Qiao Fei didn't like alcohol, especially since Lu Yan was so drunk. He had to be more vigilant in case both of them were killed in danger. Psycho Qiao, are you sure you don't want to drink? Oh, it's quite expensive. It's good that one of us is a prodigal. Qiao Fei answered seriously. Pa, nonsense. I have money. Even if you drink Louis XIV every day, I can let you drink it for the rest of your life. You can even take a bath if you can't finish it. At this moment, Lu Yan was a little drunk and seemed to be in high spirits. Alright, there's no need for a bath. It's too expensive. You can just drink. I know you're in a good mood, but it's better to drink less. Drinking a little is good for your mood, but getting drunk is bad for your body. What? Would I be afraid? Right now I'm living happily every day. If there's wine today, let's drink tomorrow. Tilting her head, Lu Yan held a glass of red wine in her hand. Then she gulped down half of the red wine in the glass. Then she tilted her head and fell asleep. Do you want to take a bath later? I'll fill the tub for you? Qiao Fei asked. After waiting for a while, Qiao Fei didn't get a response. He put down his cell phone and looked up to see Lu Yan had fallen asleep. Qiao Fei shook his head in exasperation and amusement. He got up and pulled a blanket over to cover Lu Yan with it. At this moment the doorbell rang. Who is it? Young Master Qiao, it's me, Amy. A woman's voice came from outside the door. Oh, what can I do for you? Yes. Qiao Fei was actually a very cold person. He was indifferent to everyone except Lu Yan. So he didn't want to have too much contact with Lu Yan's subordinates, regardless of their gender. But hearing Amy's words, he had to open the door. Opening the door, Qiao Fei saw Amy standing at the door in a low-cut black dress with exquisite makeup on her face. Sup? Qiao Fei was as cold as usual. Chapter 3173. Where's Sister Yan? She's asleep. Oh, then I'll keep watch. Young Master Qiao, you should go and rest. Lu Yan's subordinates all knew that Lu Yan and Qiao Fei hadn't consummated their marriage. So naturally they didn't live together, and Amy even volunteered. Oh, I can do it. Aren't you tired? Amy looked at Qiao Fei lovingly. Oh, I'm not tired. Is there anything else? Qiao Fei didn't want to waste time with this woman. Oh, we want to tell our boss that we've disposed of that man's body. Okay, I'll pass the message. Qiao Fei was about to close the door. Hey, wait, young Master Qiao. What is it? Boss, did he tell you who is trying to harm us this time? We're all worried, but she won't say anything. I don't know. She didn't tell me. Even you didn't tell me? Amy obviously didn't believe it. What? You seem to be very concerned about this. Qiao Fei glanced at the woman indifferently. No, I'm just worried about our boss's safety. If that's the case, then don't worry. Your boss is still very powerful. Young Master Qiao, are you hungry? I'll make you some supper. I know how to make Chinese dumplings. I heard that you like pork and fennel. I'm not hungry. Before Amy could continue, Qiao Fei closed the door with a bang. Amy suddenly felt a sense of defeat. She wasn't ugly. Although she wasn't as beautiful as Lu Yan, she was wearing such a seductive dress. How could young Master Qiao reject her? Qiao Fei turned around and sat on the other side of the chair, playing with his phone as if nothing had happened. Lu Yan's slightly curled eyelashes fluttered slightly. The next morning when Hua Min woke up, it was almost 7 a.m. and the sky was already bright. You're awake? Yeah. She looked a little grumpy and her eyes were still half open. Did you sleep well? Qin Chu asked as he worked on his laptop. Very good. What about you? After pausing for 3 seconds, Qin Chu smiled. Me too. This is the first time I've slept so well in so many days. Wow, I'm so hungry. Then get up, let's go eat. Okay, I'll wash my face and brush my teeth. Wait for me. Alright, there's no hurry. Qin Chu waited for her patiently. After Hua Min finished washing up, he came out and found a shopping bag on the bed. What? New clothes. Wow, such good treatment. Dr. Hua has always been treated well in our family. Thank you, Lord Qin. Hua Min naughtily kissed Qin Chu on the cheek. Then she took out the clothes from the bag. It was a silk dress. It It was beige, very clean and very stylish. It suited Huamin's elegant aura. It was low-key and unblinking, so it was obvious that she was Huamin's type. Does it look good? After changing into the new clothes, Huamin twirled twice in front of Qin Chu to show off. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Qin Chu nodded. Then the two of them walked hand in hand to the restaurant on the top floor. On the way, Qin Chu's subordinates greeted them. Good morning, President Qin. Good morning, madam. Good morning, President Qin, madam. Huamin nodded and smiled slightly. Then she intimately held Qin Chu's arm and asked, Hey Huamin? Honey, do you think our Yen will be able to get up so early? Honey, I might have some bad news to tell you. After Qin Chu finished speaking, Huamin's smile disappeared and her heart sank. Chapter 3174. What news? Lu Yen left Sydney. What? Huamin was shocked. She left at 4 a.m. this morning. Did something happen? Huamin was worried. Well, he just didn't want to say goodbye to you. Maybe she's afraid that she'll be sad and you'll be sad. After all, you're pregnant and crying all the time isn't good for the baby. Lu Yen didn't want to tell them before she left. But Qin Chu wasn't asleep at that time and heard Lu Yen talking to his subordinates at the door, so he opened the door and went out. Only then did he know that Lu Yen was leaving. With Lu Yan's status, she couldn't stay anywhere for long and would attract a lot of enemies. After weighing the pros and cons, Lu Yen left despite her reluctance. She didn't want to tell Huamin until she left. Hearing that Lu Yen was leaving, Huamin was instantly depressed. He felt so wrong that he wanted to cry. Honey, are you okay? Qin Chu put his arm around her shoulder and comforted her carefully. I'm fine. Good girl. Don't cry. It's not like you'll never see her again. But why didn't she have breakfast with me before leaving? Huamin pouted. Although she didn't eat with us, she paid for the breakfast. Isn't that enough to show her sincerity? Qin Chu teased him. Then she held Huamin's hand and went to the dining room. The whole place had been booked. Qin Chu called his subordinates in to eat with him. More than a dozen chefs served them. Miss Hui, your sister asked us to make you nourishing congee. Please try it. If you're not used to it, we'll make some improvements. The chef carefully handed over a stew bowl. Huamin lowered his head and tasted it. It was very fresh and immediately lifted his mood. What's in it? It's so delicious? Huamin asked. It's cooked with fresh lobster shells for 3 hours. It's very tasty. The lobster meat has been made into shrimp dumplings and steamed for you. Thank you for your hard work. No, it's your younger sister who treats you very well. She repeatedly asked us to take good care of you. So, Miss Hua, tell us what you want to eat for the next few days. As long as we can find the ingredients, we will try our best to satisfy you. All right. The chef's attitude was very good. Huamin knew that Xiao Yan must have left him a lot of money. Now there's good news and even better news. Which one do you want to hear first? Qin Chu whispered in her ear. Good news first. The good news is that I plan to go shopping with you after dinner. Stroll around? Huamin still didn't understand what he meant. Isn't this your first time in Australia as well? Don't you want to take a look around? Visit the famous attractions like the Sydney Opera House and see koalas and kangaroos. So I wasn't kidnapped? I'm here for a trip. A 7-day tour of Australia? Huamin laughed. A 7-day tour is out of the question. The kids must miss you so much at home. We'll just stay 1 more day and then go back to China. Yes. I really want to see Pudding and Little Bean too. So, honey, what's the better news? Before Lu Yen left, she recorded a video for you. Then Qin Chu took out a mini video camera and placed it before Huamin. Damn it. Why didn't you say so earlier? What are you doing? Huamin was very excited and didn't expect a surprise. She was so happy that she threw away the spoon in her hand with a clang. She held the DV and couldn't bear to part with it. On the screen was Lu Yan's exquisite face. Chapter 3175. Hello sis. I'm Yenner, the most awesome girl in the world. I'm pretty, rich, strong, good at shooting and good at fighting. Hearing this self-introduction, Huamin suddenly laughed and was in a good mood. You must be laughing after hearing this, right? It's good for pregnant women to laugh more. I heard that if you eat more chocolate, your baby will love to laugh more. Huamin didn't say anything. Knowing that it was a recording, he listened quietly. I wanted to say hi to you, but I thought that there would be a lot of tears when we say goodbye, so I decided not to. I don't want to make you cry. So I didn't even say goodbye. I've talked to the restaurant. They can't be careless with the food for pregnant women. You can order whatever you want. They'll do whatever they can to make it for you. As for me, I'm going to Brazil to settle accounts with an enemy. Then I'll come back to China to see you. I miss Pudding and Little Bean too. Oh, I called Dad. He didn't react much when he heard that you were safe. Turns out that he knew you would be fine. Isn't that amazing? Maybe my dad is getting old. He actually told me that after the last project he would retire and go to your place to take care of Pudding and Little Bean. Isn't he happy? But don't be fooled by him. 5 years ago he told me he was going to retire. He said he would go to Tibet with me to see the moon and herd sheep in Inner Mongolia. In the end he stayed in the lab and did crazy research. Hey, I even suspect that we're not his biological children. We're free gifts. If I'm free gifts, then you must be free gifts when you buy a rice cooker. You're not even as good as me. Hearing this, Huamin chuckled. Okay, I'll stop talking. Anyway, sis, take good care of yourself and the babies in your belly. I'll miss you guys a lot. Then the recording ended. Although it was a comedic recording, Huamian still couldn't stop her tears from rolling down her cheeks. What's wrong, honey? Chin Chu hurriedly picked up a tissue and handed it over. I just feel that it's not easy for little Yen to run around and never settle down, Huamin said in a choked voice. If Ian dies, we'll be at peace. Not only us, but Lu Yen and the professor will also have more freedom. I know. Huamin nodded. Then hurry up and eat the porridge. It won't taste good when it gets cold. All right. Huamin wiped his tears, then lowered his head and ate the shrimp dumplings and seafood porridge with great appetite. Huamin felt very happy to be able to watch Lu Yan's video and have breakfast with her husband on such a beautiful morning. What was there not to be satisfied with? On a private jet. Boss, it's time to eat. What do you want to eat? Let's do it first. Now we have steak, caviar, foie gras, braised noodles, vegetable salad and sushi rolls on the plane. I'm not eating anymore. You guys go ahead. Let us know when you're hungry. One of the men closed the door and left the cabin. Xiao Fei put down the English book in his hand and glanced at Lu Yen. You're not in a good mood today. Yeah. Do you miss Sister Mian? Why did you ask if you knew? Forget it. Then Xiao Fei lowered his head again. Hey, you little bastard, you did it on purpose. You started the conversation but stopped halfway. Lu Yen was displeased. The problem is that you miss Sister Mian. I can't do anything about it. I can't bring Sister Mian to you immediately. Xiao Fei, you've been away from your family for so long. Do you miss home? Lu Yen suddenly asked seriously. Chapter 3176. Why do you ask such an awkward question? Xiao Fei glanced at Lu Yen. What's so awkward about it? I'm just asking. So what if I miss home? Do you want to go back to Russia with me? I'll go back to Russia with you. I'll eat bread and drink hard liquor. Wait. Dreams are big but reality is cruel. Xiao Fei lowered his head and continued to play on his cell phone. What's so cruel about it? You're just worried about that bastard Xiaonan. I'll take care of him. Stop it. Stop it. Do you think we don't have enough enemies? Xiao Fei reminded her. It's because we have too many enemies that we don't need one or two more. Anyway, I'm not afraid of them. Have a good rest. We'll be busy when we get to Brazil. Psycho Chow, what do you think of my subordinate Amy? Lu Yen suddenly asked mysteriously. He's pretty good. She's pretty and has big breasts and a big butt. She's very good. Fuck. I dare you to say that again. Lu Yen was furious. Don't you think I can't even retort? Xiao Fei's face was also cold. I'm just asking. Why are you so angry? Lu Yen knew Xiao Fei didn't mean what he said. You don't trust me and asked me such a stupid question. How do you expect me to answer you? Can't you speak nicely? Lu Yen, okay. Pretend I didn't ask. She wanted to talk to him about Amy, but seeing Xiao Fei's lack of interest, she didn't bring it up. The private jet flew directly to South America. After parting with her sister, Lu Yen was in low spirits on the way, making her subordinates nervous. Huamin was having a good time. To cheer up Huamin, Chin Chu took him on a day trip to Sydney after breakfast. Chin Chu drove his Porsche sports car and took Huamin to the seaside road, enjoying the scenery along the way. The two of them also took photos in front of various scenic spots as souvenirs. Then they went to see koalas and kangaroos. Huamin was busy feeding the koala. Hubby, quick, help me take a picture with this little thing. Huamian turned around and found that Qin Chu, who had been here just a moment ago, was gone. Where's my husband? Madam, let me help you. A bodyguard beside her volunteered. Where is my husband? Huamin was puzzled. President Qin received a call. Might be about work. Oh, I see. Huamin nodded and didn't say anything else. He continued to feed the koala bear. On the other side, Qin Chu was talking to one of his men in a low voice. Boss Qin, those people don't seem to dare to act rashly. Maybe they are afraid of our strength. No, the person they're worried about is Lu Yan. I'm afraid they don't know that Lu Yan left, Qin Chu said. Ian hasn't done anything. Something's not right. Nothing's wrong. Ian is a cunning man. Now that all his men are dead, he won't dare to act rashly. So, President Qin, what should we do next? Go back to China. Go back now? Then, what about Huasiqian? Should we find a place to lock him up or? I don't feel safe keeping him somewhere else. We have to bring him back together. Okay, we'll do as you say. After the conversation, Qin Chu walked back and saw that Huamin was still feeding the koala bear excitedly. He smiled gently. Honey, we're flying back tonight. We'll be home at dawn. Okay. Huamin was as happy as a child when he heard that they were going home. Do you want to call home and tell the kids that we're leaving? Qin Chu asked her. Chapter 3177. No, I'm going to give them a surprise. Huamin snickered. You're already so old, why are you still so childish? Qin Chu pinched her cheeks lovingly. That's why life is full of surprises, Huamin said matter-of-factly. Since they had Huasiqian with them, Qin Chu took a private jet. The entire plane was filled with their own people, so it was much more convenient. Qin Chu and Huamin spent most of their time resting in the inner cabin. There was a large double bed there and it was very comfortable. When Qin Chu was working, he was always by Huamin's side. He didn't want her to feel insecure. Ever since Huamin saw Qin Chu, she slept very well. She fell asleep soon after boarding the plane. When she woke up, it was already past midnight. She woke up groggily and found Qin Chu still working on his laptop. Honey, you're awake? Qin Chu turned around. I'm a bit thirsty. Wait a second, I'll get you a glass of warm water. Can you give me a glass of Coke with ice? I don't want to drink warm water, Huamin suggested stubbornly. Please, Mrs. Qin, you're pregnant. Even if you don't take care of yourself, you should take care of the baby, okay? Coke with ice is what the baby wants to drink, Huamin argued. Qin Chu was so angry that he laughed. Honey, please. Coke with ice, just one glass. Huamin continued to act coquettishly. In the end, Qin Chu had no choice but to give in to Huamin's stubbornness and temper. Although he was worried that it would be too cold and bad for her stomach, he still poured her a glass of Coke and added a few ice cubes. Thank you, honey. Huamin was in a good mood after getting what she wanted. She stood up and looked out the window. Other than the stars in the sky, she couldn't see anything else. What time is it? Past midnight. How long will it take for us to get home? Around 10 in the morning. Wow, that's so long. What's wrong? Are you in a hurry? Qin Chu laughed at her. Yeah, I can't wait to go home. Huamian took a sip of her Coke and smiled. Just then someone knocked on the door. President Qin, there's an emergency report. Come in. President Qin, there's a problem with Huasiqian. His subordinate sounded anxious. What is it? Qin Chu looked up. Huamian put the Coke aside and listened intently. Although Huasiqian's condition is improving, he hasn't had any water or food in days. To Huamian, to what Huamian means is slightly was Qin's Huahim. After all, no one knew what Huasiqian was thinking. He was such a strange person. He said he wanted me to tell you. Qin Chu's subordinates hesitated. Tell me what? He wanted me to tell you that he wants to see Mrs. Qin, or he'll refuse to eat or drink until he dies. Bastard, how dare he negotiate with me at a time like this? Qin Chu slammed the table, his face full of anger. Timmy? Huamin was slightly surprised. Yeah, he also said that only Mrs. Qin can see him. Tell him that's impossible. If he doesn't eat or drink, then we'll give him a glucose injection and let him live like a vegetable. Qin Chu had reached the limit of his patience towards this demon who had kidnapped his wife for so many days. Honey, I'll go see him. Huamin slowly stood up. Chapter 3178. No, Mion, I won't let you go. Chinchu was very determined. It'll be fine, honey. No matter how powerful and cunning he is, he's still a toothless cobra. There's no need to be afraid of him. Since he has this request, we'll satisfy him. I want to see what he's up to. But Chinchu seemed to have a lot of concerns. Honey, trust me. I'll never let anything happen to me. Then I'll wait for you at the door. Call me if you need anything, Chinchu said. Okay. Huamin nodded and stood up to walk out. Chinchu picked up his suit jacket and put it on Huamin. Honey, I'm not cold. The plane's airspace is turned up. Don't catch a cold. Chinchu really wanted to be by Huamin's side all the time. Huasiqian was locked in a small cabin at the end of the plane. His hands and feet were cuffed and he couldn't escape. Chinchu's subordinate opened the door and Huamin walked in. Huasiqian looked up and smiled. Huamin glanced at him and felt bad. It had only been 2 or 3 days, but he was already a bag of bones. He was severely injured and had lost a lot of blood. Plus, he hadn't eaten or drunk anything. Even if he was a god, he wouldn't be able to last long. Mion, you finally came to see me. Huasiqian's voice was hoarse and quiet. He seemed to have no strength left. If you have something to say, just say it. Huamin frowned slightly and didn't get close to him. Mion, come closer. Let me see you. What are you up to now? I'm already like this. What else can I do? Not Jack. Don't be afraid of me. I won't hurt you. Hearing his words, Huamin took a few more steps forward. Huasiqian looked at Huamin's handsome face, just like when they were in high school. These years he wasn't fat or thin. Although he wasn't devastatingly beautiful, he was handsome. Huamian had a face that made people feel comfortable at first glance. Although her face wasn't stunning at first glance, it was very pleasing to the eye. Huasiqian used to think that no matter what troubles him, he would feel relieved just by looking at Huamin. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been so obsessed with her all these years. Mion, if Hua Zhenghai had let you go back to the Hua family, we would have grown up under the same roof. That way I would have had more memories of you. Unfortunately, there are no ifs in life, Huamin answered without hesitation. If you knew what that old woman Jiang Hong did to me, would you have helped me? Huasiqian asked softly. I was so young back then. How could I have helped you? People should know their limits and act according to their abilities, Huamin answered rationally. That's indeed your style. You came to see me just to say this nonsense? Mion, you know why Chinchu didn't kill me, right? Of course. So, if I play along with you guys, you'll have a better chance of defeating Ian and Nalo. You're that kind? Huamin obviously didn't want to admit it. So I have a condition. Huasiqian smiled. We won't let you go. Don't even think about it. Huamin thought Huasiqian wanted to use this as an exchange to escape. Don't worry. I won't ask you to let me go. Even if you agree, Chinchu won't let me go. What's your condition? Huamin glanced at Huasiqian's face and asked. Chapter 3179. I want you to visit me once a month as long as I'm alive. Huamin was speechless and didn't know what to say. Mion, I won't live for long. Can't you promise me something as simple as this? Huasiqian, is it really necessary? What's the use of seeing me? As long as I can see you, I'll probably be imprisoned until I die. Seeing you is my only hope for survival. Huasiqian's words made Huamin's heart ache. But you're not me, so you don't need to understand my intentions. As long as you agree, I'll promise you that not only will I cooperate with you, but I'll also provide you with some information on Ian. Over the years, I've collected a lot of information on the 2 brothers. I heard that you and Nalo, it's all in the past. Huasiqian didn't want to mention Nalo, so when Huamin brought it up, he turned his head and didn't say more. Mion, perhaps to you it's a black mark in my life and a joke. But you must remember that under those circumstances I had no choice. As long as I could survive, I didn't care what they did to me. As long as I wasn't dead, there was still hope. You're indeed strong-willed. So, do you promise me? I'll think about it. But how can I trust you? You can visit me once a month and I'll give you some information. It's a good deal for both of us, isn't it? That's all for now. With that, Huamin turned to leave. Mion, if you can't love me in this lifetime, I'd be happy if you hate me. Just don't forget about me. Huamin paused and walked away without looking back. Hua Xiqian was an out-and-out pervert, but damn it, why did it make people feel so sad when they heard it? Huamin didn't dare tell Qin Chu this because the damage Hua Xiqian had inflicted on Qin Chu was a fatal blow. Therefore she would not make her husband sad because of an outsider. How is it? Are you all right? After Huamin left, Qin Chu immediately took her hand. I'm fine. What did he say? Let's talk about conditions. After that, Huamin recounted her conversation with Hua Xiqian. Of course, she did not mention the words of love, only the condition. Hubby, what do you think? Honey, I don't need you to do anything. I'll investigate Ian's case. If I need you to help me with something like this, then I'm really useless as a husband. Damn, I know. That's why I didn't agree. Huamin knew Qin Chu would object. No matter how considerate he was still a man. Moreover, Qin Chu was a man with a strong sense of self-esteem. What was the meaning of letting his wife see another man every month? Since Qin Chu dared to challenge Ian, he would not use these methods to rely on women. Well done. From now on, don't see Hua Xiqian again, Qin Chu said with deep meaning as he hugged Huamin. Okay. Huamin nodded obediently. She knew what her husband was worried about. She didn't know what Hua Xiqian would do. Because of Hua Xiqian, she and her husband were almost separated by life and death 2 times. Therefore, Huamin could understand her husband's feelings very well. Late at night, Huamin and Mr. Qin had some desserts and drinks on the plane. Then they fell asleep again. When they woke up again, the plane had landed smoothly. Hubby, are we going home now? Huamin looked at the familiar city and was so excited that she almost jumped up. No, we're going to the green tea restaurant. Why are we going there? Huamin was surprised. Su Yu is having desserts there with the twins, Qin Chu said with a smile. Chapter 3180. I'm going to give them a big surprise. Huamin held Qin Chu's hand and jumped up and down happily. Dr. Hua, please watch your behavior. You're pregnant. Mr. Qin was so scared that his face changed. It's okay. I'm naughty. Huamin smiled guiltily. The black Bentley Continental stopped at the international arrival gate of the airport. Qin Chu held Huamin's hand and got into the car. The bodyguards behind them all sat in the 2 Mercedes-Benz business cars in the back. Just like that, Qin Chu and Huamian finally returned home safely. Honey, where's Hua Xiqian? What are you going to do with him? Huamin asked. I've handed him over to Gao Ran. He's secretly put him in a small solitary cell. He can't have contact with other people. Okay. Huamin nodded and didn't ask any more questions. Then she leaned her head on Qin Chu's shoulder and looked at the familiar land outside the window. It was a feeling she hadn't felt in a long time. Inside the green tea restaurant, Handsome Su, aren't you busy today? Pudding asked. It's fine. It's the same every day. Su lowered his head and ate his ice cream. Handsome Su, did my daddy call you? He hasn't called us since he arrived in Australia. He didn't call me either. But I heard he called your aunt. It should be fine. Let's not talk about mommy. We're all worried. Our old Qin can be very stubborn. If I were mommy, I would have chosen you. Handsome Su, you're handsome, rich, and most importantly, obedient, Little Bean said. Huh. So you chose me because I'm obedient? So you didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Yeah. I like men who listen to me. I don't like stubborn ones. My daddy is too stubborn, Little Bean complained. Su Yu nodded in agreement and concluded, well, my brother Chu is ruthless and doesn't talk much. You two, speaking ill of daddy behind his back isn't what a gentleman should do. Pudding glanced at them. It's okay, daddy can't hear us anyway, Since Su Yu treated her to ice cream, Little Bean began to flatter him again. She even slandered her own father. But who would have thought that life was full of surprises? Little Bean, is it fun to insult daddy? Not far behind him, a magnetic voice asked. Instantly, the 3 of them turned their heads. When they saw only Qin Chu, their eyes were slightly disappointed. But Qin Chu suddenly moved to the left. Behind him was Huamin, who was wearing a beige dress. Her long hair was draped over her shoulders and she even had thin bangs. Many people would believe that he was a high school student if he said that he was a high school student. Wow, are my eyes playing tricks on me? Is that person Mommy? Little Bean exclaimed. Looks like it. I also think I'm hallucinating. Pudding seemed to be unable to calm down and stood up slightly. Among the 3 of them, Su Yu's reaction was the biggest. His gaze fell on Huomion's body and his eyes were fixed on her. It was as if time had stopped. "Hi, my babies." Huomin smiled sweetly and waved. Mommy, you're back." "Mommy, I missed you so much." The twins rushed out as fast as they could. Huomin squatted down and the two little cuties appeared in her arms. "Mommy, why didn't you call?" "I'm so excited." The sudden surprise made the twins completely lose control. Fortunately, Chin-Chu had already quietly cleared the area, not wanting outsiders to see this scene. Chapter 3181. I just wanted to give you a surprise. "Mommy, you're a bad person." "I'm not mentally prepared for it." Little Bean burst into tears and complained that her mommy didn't tell her in advance. She was so emotional that she cried. Pudding also wiped away her tears, but she had always been a woman of few words, so she didn't talk as much as Little Bean. "Mommy, it's good that you're back safely. Buddha bless us." Pudding put her hands together as if she was thanking Buddha. Huomion's heart almost melted at the sight of the two little guys' actions. "Come on, Mommy, give me a kiss." Huomin didn't care about his image as a doctor. He hugged his daughter and kissed her left and right as if he couldn't get enough of it. "Mommy, is the baby in your belly okay?" Pudding suddenly thought of something and asked with a serious expression. "It's fine. Don't worry." "Oh yeah, that's great. You two don't want Daddy anymore when you see Mommy, right?" Chin-Chu crossed his arms in front of his chest and acted cool. "Of course not. We love you as much as we love Mommy," Little Bean immediately said fawningly. "Really? But who was it that said bad things about me just now?" It was Handsome Sue, right?" Little Bean immediately made Suyu the scapegoat. At this moment Huomin stood up with a smile and looked at Suyu. She thought that he would retort when the kids joked and made him the scapegoat. After all, that was Suyu's flamboyant personality. However, she didn't get what she wanted. Following her gaze, she saw Suyu standing alone at the dining table. With his back to him, he seemed to be secretly wiping his tears. This action made Huomin suddenly think of something. "Babies, you two go to Daddy first. I'll go say hello to Uncle Sue." Huomin stood up and asked the two children to go to Chin-Chu. The twins went to Chin-Chu's side obediently. Huomin walked up to Suyu step by step. Suyu responded, but he did not turn around. "What happened to you?" "I'm fine." "Then turn around and let me look at you." "Sai, we're old friends. It's not like you don't know what I look like." Don't look at me." "No, turn around," Huomian demanded domineeringly. Suyu had no choice but to turn around. Only then did everyone realize that Suyu's eyes were red. It was obvious that he had just cried. There were still tears on both sides of her nose. "Wow. Handsome Sue is crying," Little Bean said. "He's happy, right?" Pudding guessed. Chin-Chu didn't say anything, but he could understand Suyu's feelings. After all, his feelings for Huomin were different from others. "Are you crying?" Huomin's heart ached. After all, it was rare to see Suyu lose his composure like this. "No, it's just, I'm telling you, the sashimi in this restaurant can't be eaten. The wasabi is too fucking spicy. It's so spicy that I'm an idiot." Suyu tried his best to hide his emotions. Huomin glanced at the table. There was only steak, pasta, and ice cream. Where was the sashimi? It was clearly a lame excuse he came up with to cover up his loss of composure. Huomin didn't expose him. Instead, he pulled out a tissue and handed it to him. I'm fine. The baby is fine too. Everyone is fine." "That's great." Suyu smiled. Yeah. Don't worry about me. I'm back safe and sound. I'm standing right in front of you, alive and well," Huomin said in all seriousness. Suyu couldn't help but cry again after hearing those touching words. Chapter 3182. "Oh my God, Handsome Sue is crying again. Is he a crybaby?" Little Bean said. "Handsome Sue is probably happy. Anyway, he must be very happy to see Mommy back," Pudding said. "It's like the Yellow River bursting its banks. So spectacular. I've been in this world for more than 3 years and this is the first time I've seen Handsome Sue cry like a dog." "Me too," Pudding added. It was rare for the two sisters to reach a consensus. Chin-Chu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Did he really give birth to these two little devils? "Stop crying. How old are you? Don't you feel ashamed?" Huomin couldn't stand it anymore. If Suyu continued crying, she would cry too. She took out a tissue and wiped Suyu's face. Damn it. What are you doing? Don't ruin my makeup. Makeup? You're a man. How can you put on makeup? Huamin was about to vomit blood. I was interviewed on a radio station this morning. Damn it, those makeup artists made my face white, Suyu complained. Huamin burst out laughing. It's foundation, okay? I don't know what it is. Sticky. If you ruin it, I think my face will look better. It looks good now. Really? Then I'll go wash my face in the washroom. Then Suyu rushed out and went straight to the washroom. Huamin turned around and walked back to her husband and daughter. Honey, since we're here, why don't we eat here? Hey. Mommy, try this ice cream. It's delicious. Little Bean volunteered. Hey. Let's eat before we go back. No one knows we're back anyway, Chin Chu said. Suyu rushed into the washroom and washed his face desperately. After a long time, when the cold water hit his sober brain, he finally realized that Mion was back. She returned safely. She did not die, nor was she injured. She did not go missing. Just like that, she appeared right in front of him. That delicate and pretty face carried a faint smile. When Suyu recalled the scene just now, he actually felt like crying. After adjusting his emotions for a while, he finally calmed down. Then she looked at herself in the mirror and said to herself, "It's good that you're back. It's good that you're back." When Suyu went out again, he saw the family of 4 sitting around the table. "Handsome Su, come here," Little Bean greeted him warmly. "Mion's back is such a great thing, we can't stay here to eat. Let's go, I'll prepare a feast for you guys," Suyu suggested. "It's fine. This place is fine. Have a seat and let's have a meal together," Huamin invited with a smile. "Come, Handsome Su, sit between my sister and me. If you sit next to my mommy, my daddy will get jealous. If you sit next to my daddy, my mommy will get jealous. If you sit next to my sister, I'll get jealous. So, you're the best person to sit between us." Little Bean's mouth was really sharp. Her words made everyone laugh. Suyu didn't refuse and sat between the twins. Chin Chu took the menu and ordered a lot of food. The 5 of them ate and chatted. Chin Chu briefly told Suyu about finding Huamin. However, because the kids were with them, he couldn't tell them about the bloody scene. "Then, where's Huasiqian? Where's that bastard?" Tiu asked. "I've already captured him. Why didn't you cut him into pieces and throw him into a wolf's den?" Suyu hated Huasiqian to the core. Chapter 3183. Handsome Su, are you serious? It's illegal to kill people. Little Bean interrupted. You're right. Uncle Su was just talking nonsense. Don't take it seriously. Seeing that the kids were still with him, Suyu didn't dare to say more about Huasiqian. He wanted to ask Chin Chu in private. While they were eating, Suyu secretly took a photo of Huamin. She was drinking a glass of lemonade and half of her face was covered, but he could still roughly see her face. Suyu then posted on his WeChat moments. When he was hungry at noon, he found a random restaurant for lunch and found a woman who looked very much like Dr. Hua. After he posted this, his WeChat moments exploded with comments. In less than a minute, the comments went crazy. Tang Chuan. Damn, they really do look like Dr. Hua, but she looks younger than my sister-in-law. Where did you see her? Qin Ning. I think she's my sister-in-law. Tang Chuan replied to Qin Ning. Baby, I understand how you feel. Everyone looks like your sister-in-law. Qin Ning replied to Tang Chuan. Go away. Zhu Lingling. This woman. Ta, why does she look so much like our Mian? See, where did you see her? Give me the address. Gao Ran. Someone's up to no good. Show off. Wei Liao. Lord Su, the makeup artists in your company are getting better and better. They even know how to disguise themselves. Tell me which makeup artist is so good that you're fantasizing about it. Jiang Xiaowei. Mian? He's back? Give me the address. Qixin. Big brother Suyu, that person is my sister, right? Where did you see her? Did she talk to you? Did something happen and she lost her memory? Can't she remember us? I'm worried to death. My mom misses my sister so much that she's going crazy. Hurry up and send her to my house. And I Yong. Stop fooling around, President Su. That's my sister. Where is she? Is she back? Where was brother-in-law? Qinjia, I think so too. President Su, where are you now? When Suyu saw these comments, he didn't reply to any of them. Then he couldn't help but laugh. What are you laughing at? Huamin asked when he saw how happy he was. It's definitely nothing good. Otherwise he wouldn't be smiling so sinisterly. Little Bean said. A little brat, how dare you say that your Uncle Sue is sinister? Sinister is a compliment. I'm saying you're smart, handsome Sue. Little Bean chuckled. Come on, tell me, since when is the word sinister a compliment? Are you trying to trick me? Did I graduate from elementary school? Suyu was in a good mood and started arguing with Little Bean. At this moment many people sent Suyu private messages. Suyu's cell phone kept ringing. These guys can't stay calm. Suyu didn't reply. He didn't even pick up Gao Ran's call. Chin-Chu looked down at his WeChat moments and immediately knew what was going on. Then he showed it to Huamin. Huamin laughed and said, Lord Su, you're not being nice. I did it on purpose to piss them off. That's not good. Are you sure they won't gang up on you when they find out the truth? Huamin asked. Let's have fun first. Whether they'll gang up on me or not, that's for later. Suyu was a little carried away. In the end, Chin-Chu couldn't stand it anymore. Under Suyu's comment, he replied to everyone, Mion is fine. Don't worry everyone. I'll host a banquet at South Hill Manor tomorrow. Remember to come on time. After Chin-Chu's reply, everyone went crazy. Qin Ning was the first to call Chin-Chu's cell phone. Oh, brother, you're back? Qin Ning was very excited. Chapter 3184. Chin-Chu's reply was simple and always one word. Why didn't you tell me? I was worried. I'm back now. When are you coming home? Uncle and Auntie are worried sick. My dad is here too. I'll be back after dinner. You're still in the mood for dinner? Come back immediately. We want to see our sister-in-law. Qin Ning couldn't wait. Without waiting for a reply, Chin-Chu hung up. My brother is so mean. He hung up on me just like that. She's really back? Tang Chuan asked. Yeah, she's back. She said she was having dinner. Damn, then she must be with Lord Su. No, we have to find him. Tang Chuan laughed. How could Lord Su tell us? Qin Ning thought that Suyu didn't want to tell us because he didn't want to. If he doesn't want to tell us, I have a way. Then Tang Chuan picked up his cell phone, opened WeChat and shouted in a group, Brothers, did anyone see Lord Su today? Did anyone see Lord Su's car? Not long after, the group became lively. Everyone here was a rich second generation who had nothing better to do than to eat and drink when they had nothing better to do. Hey, I think I saw it just now. San Wangjing Road. Yeah, I think I saw it too. It should be Lord Su's Lamborghini Sixth Element. Wangjing Road. There are many restaurants there. Does anyone know where he's eating? Tang Chuan asked again, not satisfied. Soon someone popped up. He probably went to eat Western food. I saw he took President Qin's twins with him. Okay, I got it. Thank you guys. Tang Chuan put away his cell phone with a smirk. How was it? Did you ask? Qin Ning tilted her head and looked at her. Of course. Young Master Su took the twins out today. Even an idiot would know that they went to green tea. Little Bean loves the ice cream and pineapple buns there. Qin Ning, not bad Tang Chuan. You know how to make deductions. Qin Ning punched him. Then you see your husband is extremely smart. Tang Chuan started to show off. Yes. You're smart. You're the best. Be careful of your baldness. You're like Mr. Gu. Qin Ning teased him. Tang Chuan was an out-and-out loudspeaker. Basically, everyone on Earth knew what he knew. Nothing could be kept a secret. Therefore, after Tang Chuan guessed the address, he sent a group message to the others and secretly told them where Chin-Chu, Huamin, and Suyu were having dinner. Then half an hour later, a miracle happened. Large groups of people arrived one after another. The entrance of the green tea shop was filled with luxury cars. Gao Ran's Jaguar and Zhu Lingling's orange Audi TT were also very eye-catching. Wei Liao came from the company. His chauffeur drove a Rolls-Royce Phantom. Jiang Xiaowei stayed at home with her son and drove a white Maserati. Ai Yang and his wife drove a low-key black Audi A8. Maybe because of Huamin, Ai Yang also liked Audi. Tang Chuan was very high-profile today. He drove his new black Ferrari with Qin Ning in the passenger seat. Rick and Cece, on the other hand, drove a more comfortable Lincoln. Perhaps because of Cece's pregnancy, Rick rarely drove a sports car. Jixin and Bella came as well. They drove a silver Porsche which was driven by Jixin. The media thought that a celebrity was having a party here. They squatted at the entrance and waited for gossip. When Suyu saw the large group of people come in, his head buzzed. What's going on? Suyu was dumbfounded. Chapter 3185. The situation is what you saw. Tang Chuan smiled. How did you guys know we were here? Suyu remembered that they only showed off on their WeChat moments and didn't reveal their whereabouts. They didn't have a GPS location. Sea City is only so big, how could we not find you? Especially that sixth element of yours. It's so flashy and cool. Tang Chuan winked. Tang Chuan and Suyu chatted about useless things. On the other side, when everyone came in and saw Huamin, they were all very excited. Mian, you're finally back. I was so scared. I cried so much for you that I almost went blind. Zhu Lingling couldn't help but cry again. These days, whenever she closed her eyes, she would think of Huamin's face. Then she would think of the many things that happened together. Ever since high school, when she was bullied, Huamin stood up for her. Later, when she found a scumbag boyfriend, Huamin helped her deal with it. Then Gao Ran proposed to her and they had a child. After so many years, Huamin had become her most inseparable friend. Whenever she thought of Huamin's death, Zhu Lingling felt suffocated. She didn't want to believe that she would never see Mian again. What would she do if she lost such a good friend? So when she saw Huamin alive for the first time, Zhu Lingling couldn't help but burst into tears. Zhu Lingling's crying immediately affected the atmosphere. It's good that you're back. I'm relieved. Jiang Xiaowei also wiped away her tears. Mom, don't cry. Auntie Huamin is back safe and sound. Wei Yunchu took out a tissue and handed it to his mother. Sis, you've lost weight. And Ai Yang choked as he said these few words. And Ai Yang didn't have many family ties since he was young, so he already saw Huamin as his biological sister. So when Huamin came back, he was sincerely excited. However, when he saw Huamin's thin face, his heart ached. Director. Qin Jia was already sobbing when she said those two words. Sis. When Jixin parked the car and walked in, he saw that everyone was standing, so he squeezed in. When he saw Huamian, he was so excited that he ran over. He hugged Huamian's entire body and lifted her up. Jixin, what are you doing? Put me down. Huamian was afraid of heights. Are you Mian's she's baby? She tugged on Jixin's shirt and snorted. Yes. I was too impulsive. I forgot that sis is pregnant. Jixin quickly put Huamin down. Sis, Mom and I missed you so much. We thought you were all ready. Jixin's eyes turned red as he spoke. Hey, what are you guys doing? It's a good thing that I'm back, not my funeral. Don't cry. Huamin said to everyone with a smile. What are you talking about? It's so unlucky. Are you a tiger? Suyu glared at Huamin. Huamin stuck out his tongue and realized that he had said something wrong. He hid behind Jixin's broad shoulders. Yeah, it's a good thing that Mian is back. Everyone, let's celebrate. Boss, bring us as much beer as you can. We're happy today, Zhu Lingling yelled at the top of her lungs. Then the place where only a few people were eating became a group dinner. Fortunately, Mr. Qin was wise enough to reserve the entire venue. There was no one else. Rick sat beside Qin Chu and asked in a low voice, "Did your trip to Australia go well?" Chapter 3186. Not bad. Did you catch him? Rick asked subtly, but Qin Chu knew what he meant. Yeah. Is he dead? Oh, I brought him back. Rick, you want to lure the big fish? Rick seemed to know Qin Chu's intention. Yes. That's a good idea, but it's not a good thing. They're much harder to deal with than Husi Qian, Rick reminded him kindly. I know. Okay, buddy, I wish you all the best. I'm willing to ally with you anytime, just let me know if you need me. Rick raised his glass. He rarely had any expression on his face, but at this moment, there was a slight smile on his face. Huamin, on the other hand, was surrounded by a group of people. He was so busy that he wished he had 3 heads and 6 arms. Sister Mian, do you still feel uncomfortable? I feel so sleepy. Cici said. Pregnant women are all like this, don't worry. Have you taken folic acid? Huamin asked with concern. Yes, you can buy everything in America. Rick bought everything for me, including calcium tablets and so on. Not bad, send me some next time. The things there are good and the prices are good. Huamin smiled. Of course. Cici, I think you should be a purchasing agent in the States. It's a good way to make money, Zhu Lingling suggested excitedly. Cici was a little embarrassed. Lingling, are you stupid? Her boyfriend has more money than he can spend, and you want his fiancée to be a purchasing agent? What are you thinking? Jiang Shaowei laughed at her. Ahem. Money doesn't burn your hands. Who wants to go against money? I have a few customers who love luxury bags, but there aren't many new models in the country. So, Cici, bring me a few next time when you go back. I'll pay you. Okay, I'll go out when I have time. Cici smiled. Sister Mian, when are you going back to the hospital? It's been a mess lately. Qin Jie said mysteriously. What's wrong? Huamin was slightly startled. There's a new female doctor in the obstetrics and gynecology department. She said that she's the niece of one of the leaders of the municipal party committee. He's so arrogant. Her medical skills aren't that great, but she's a troublemaker. Everyone hates her, but they can't do anything to her. There are people like that. Huamin was a little surprised. That's right. She's already so old, but she's still unmarried. She's like an old lady. It's quite difficult to deal with her. All right, I'll meet her when I go back. Huamin felt that even though he wasn't good at fighting, he couldn't let the atmosphere at Southside change. Wu Xiaoxue had been cured by Huamin at the first hospital. She was President Wu's niece. This time, another niece from the municipal party committee had come. She was waiting for a good show. After he came back, his life returned to normal. Huamin suddenly felt that this kind of normal life was the happiest, fulfilling, and beautiful. Sister Mian, the company recently expanded a lot of new channels. I talked with Jixin and decided to go to Taiwan a few more times to get the big clients there. Bella excitedly reported the company's situation to Huamin. That's a good thing. Thanks to you, Bella. I know my brother's ability. No. This time it's really because of Vice President Jing's hard work. He's very good now, Bella praised. Jixin scratched his head in embarrassment. So, when are you two going to settle down? Huamin asked directly. Chapter 3187. Yeah, Jixin. You've been with Bella for a long time, right? You're not young anymore. You should get engaged. Zhu Lingling added fuel to the fire. We're still young. We should focus on our careers. Jixin was still a bit shy. That's fast. Jixin is going to have a wife soon. When we were in high school, he was still a kid. He was still fighting with his classmates. Gao Ran sighed. Qin Chu nodded. Time is unforgiving. Our kids are all grown up and we're getting old. President Qin, do you feel sad when you think about your twins getting married? Gao Ran asked on purpose. Qin Chu's face darkened. He really didn't want to see that happen. His daughters were only 3 years old and he sometimes fantasized about it. When they grew up, they would fall in love, have boyfriends, and even get married. He would be very sad and sad. He would cry when the time came. You don't mention it. Rick glanced at Gao Ran. Of course I'm happy. She's going to marry into our family. Then we'll have a daughter-in-law. So will our family, Wei Liao added. Mr. Qin's face darkened even more. If you're going to bully my husband like this, then I'm not going to give you any face, Huamin interrupted with a smile. What, Lady Qin, are you going to break up a couple? Jiang Shaowei laughed. Of course not. Do you think I'm such an insensitive person? I won't break up a couple, but I'll find a son-in-law who lives in our family. If someone like Tang Chuan comes to live with us, then we won't be the ones losing our daughters, but your sons will run away from home. So do you want to have a second child? Huamin purposely tried to provoke them. Qinchu, your wife is really two-faced. Did she learn from you? Gao Ran gave him a thumbs up. Sister-in-law, am I the legendary getting shot while lying down? Tang Chuan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Could it be that sister-in-law was wrong? What, are you going to go back on your word? If you want to go back on your word, it's not too late. After all, there are a lot of socialites here. You can pick any one of them. They'll happily throw themselves at you to be your wife, Qin Ning said. Don't, I like it. I don't want anyone else, I'll follow you. Sister Ning, please take care of me in the future. Tang Chuan attentively massaged Qin Ning's legs. Brat, you don't even care about your face for a woman now. I really look down on you. Wei Liao laughed at him. Don't be the pot calling the kettle black. When you chased after Sister Wei, you almost worshipped her, Tang Chuan retorted. On the side, Suyu smiled with a wine glass in his hand. Continue. I like to watch dogs bite each other. Speaking of dogs, there is indeed a ready-made single dog here. Tang Chuan said. Suyu, what the fuck? Lord Su, do you feel good being single? I saw that a certain Japanese country recently invented a new magical weapon that's perfect for an otaku like you. It's even better than a blow-up doll. I'll give you one for your birthday. Ah, you're welcome. Do you believe that I can break your dick with one kick? You won't be able to live happily for the rest of your life. Stop talking nonsense. The kids are still here. Mind your image, Wei Liao reminded them. Uncle Su continue. I like to listen to jokes like this. It's so funny, Gao Buyuan said with a northern accent. After he finished speaking, everyone was amused. Director Gao, your son is getting dirtier. Huamin glanced at Gao Ran and said. Chapter 3188. How dare you say that? It's all because of Little Bean. My Buin used to be so pure, Gao Ran said innocently. Birds of a feather flock together. Uncle Gao, my dad said it's not that I tainted Buin, but that he had the potential to be so, Little Bean retorted. Gao Ran was speechless. Little Bean is right, Gao Buyuan said seriously with an ice cream in his hand. Everyone burst into laughter again. Look at you. You're not even married yet but you're already dissing your dad. Is it really okay for you to have so many sons? Zhu Lingling didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Mom, calm down. I'll take care of you too even if I have a wife, Gao Buyuan said. Look at you guys. I don't even want to have a son. You guys are so heartless. Let's have a daughter just like Little Bean so she can play with other people's sons. Tang Chuan said. Don't joke with me, okay? Qin Ning laughed so hard. Uncle Tang, you're dissing me again. Little Bean glanced at Tang Chuan. Good girl, call me uncle. I'll buy you candy. Do you think I need your candy? I won't call you uncle. You're not officially married to my auntie. Let's talk about it after you're married, Little Bean said proudly. I really don't know how to fix this. Your Qin family has gone too far. Even a 3-year-old child dares to insult me, Tang Chuan complained. So, do you still want to marry into the Qin family? Qin Ning asked with a smile. Yes. Tang Chuan shamelessly flattered again. Pudding, what are you doing? Why aren't you saying anything? Jiang Xiaowei realized that the smart Pudding didn't talk much today. Sometimes she lowered her head and played with her phone. Oh, I'm taking care of some small things, Pudding looked up and answered. Our Pudding is amazing now. You guys will be surprised, Suyu said mysteriously. What's going on? Are you going to make Pudding a child star? Wei Liao guessed. You want to be a movie queen? Of course not, our Pudding won't enter the entertainment industry. Anyway, you guys just wait and see. After that, Suyu and Pudding looked at each other and smiled. It seemed to be a little secret between them. Since Huamian and Cici were pregnant, they couldn't drink. Apart from them and the children, no one else could drink. Everyone drank a lot of wine happily. It was supposed to be a simple lunch, but they ate until the evening. At 6:30 p.m., Qin Chu looked down at his watch and felt that it was about time. Thus he suggested that the banquet be dismissed. Everyone, let's meet again tomorrow. I'll hold a banquet at South Hill Manor. Let's continue drinking then, Qin Chu said. All right, I'll try my best to make you bankrupt. Tomorrow pick the most expensive one and start drinking hot. Gao Ran joked. No problem. Where's Mom? Did you send her home? Huamin looked at Jixin. Yeah, I've sent a car to pick her up and send her to South Hill Manor. You'll see her when you get home. Okay. Huamin nodded. He was happy to see the elders at home. Lord Su, tell Auntie and Uncle Su that I'm back. I'll go visit them later. Okay. Lord Su doesn't know yet, right? Huamin asked again. Yeah, Grandpa has been attending an international conference in Jing City and hasn't been home much. I didn't tell him on the phone. You did the right thing. Lord Su is old and we don't want him to worry about us. Huamin was happy. Handsome Su, you drank too much. You can't drive after drinking. I'll call a designated driver for you, Pudding said. No, in is outside. We'll go straight home. Jixin, come back to South Hill with us. Huamin glanced at Jixin. Bella, come with us, Huamin emphasized. Bella nodded shyly. When everyone was walking out, Gao Ran pulled Qin Chu aside as if he wanted to talk to him alone. Chapter 3189. I've taken care of Hua Xiqian. I've replaced them with my trusted subordinates. If the higher-ups investigate, I have the evidence of Hua Xiqian's murders that you gave me last time. Even the provincial police won't punish me for this. I don't think the higher-ups will find out. Because it won't be long before someone wants to rescue him. Hua Xiqian's accomplice. Gao Ran was surprised. Sort of. It's a bit complicated. I'll tell you the details later. But I still have to remind you not to let Hua Xiqian come into contact with other prisoners. His personality is unstable. Remember to sprinkle some of the medicine I gave you into his food every day to suppress it. Qin Chu had thought of a lot of things so that Hua Xiqian's second personality could be released. Don't worry. I've taken care of everything. Unless he wants to starve to death, I've sprinkled some medicine into his food. Plus there's not a lot. He won't notice it easily. Good job. So, what reward are you going to give me? Gao Ran joked. He wondered if he should take the Maybach from Qin Chu's basement and drive it for a while. To his surprise, Mr. Qin replied with a straight face, I'll give you a reward. Didn't your boy marry into our family? What the? That counts? Aren't you going to thank His Majesty for his kindness? Qin Chu teased Gao Ran. Fui. Why should I thank him? Lingling and I worked so hard to raise our son and he was taken away by your family. What a capitalist. The group of people left the restaurant one after another. The limousine also dispersed. Suyu had indeed drunk a lot today. When he got into the car, the strong smell of alcohol assaulted his nostrils. How much did he drink? And complained in a low voice. Suyu leaned against the passenger seat and hummed a popular English song in a good mood. President Su, are we going back to your home or the old mansion? And asked. I'll have my own home. Okay. And started the car and got on the road slowly. Little and Humin is back. She's safe and sound. Suyu said happily. Yes. Aren't you going to react? Suyu tilted his head and looked at Shaoan. I guessed it when I saw your moments. You're so mean. There's no surprise at all. Boring. He thought that Shaoan would be very excited, but who knew that he was very calm. If you bring back a big-breasted girl to sleep in the villa one day, I might be surprised, Shaoan said. Get lost. When did you become so dirty? Suyu punched Shaoan's head. Aren't I worried about you? Why are you so anxious? You haven't fucking found a girlfriend and people are saying that I'm your boy toy. I'm fucking innocent, and complained bitterly. Suyu, fuck who said that? I'm going to kill him right now. There are thousands of rumors out there. If you kill one there will be thousands of them. That's why I said, hurry up and find a girlfriend. Otherwise I'll have to take the blame for you. It was nonsense to be implicated. In fact, Shaoan felt sorry for his master. Lord Su was such a good man. Why did he have to be single? He was wasting his youth at such a young age. Shaoan was also anxious. Where am I going to find one? Do you think finding a girlfriend is as easy as buying cabbages? Go on the street and drag one back for me. President Su, if you're so naggy then I'll really go. If I shout on the street that Lord Su is looking for a girlfriend, do you think it'll cause an earthquake? And laughed. Chapter 3190. Don't you dare. Huh? I'm just kidding. I don't dare. Anyway, I think Miss Nya is a good girl. Miss Nya. Which Miss Nya? Nya Shaoqian? I'm not Ning Kaichen. President Su, don't play dumb, okay? I'm talking about Miss Xian Xian, the top actress in Imperial Star. Nya Lingxian? Yeah. Don't you think she's a good girl? She's different from those pretentious bitches. He's different. Nya Lingxian is a good girl. She's Cece's older sister. That's right. That's why I think you should give yourself a chance. Although old madam doesn't like women from the entertainment industry marrying into the Su family, in this situation, old madam might be more willing to accept you marrying someone from the entertainment industry than you not having a wife. How much money did you take from Nya Lingxian to say that? Suyu chuckled. I didn't take a penny. President Su, you can check if you don't believe me. And turned his head and seemed angry. Little guy, you're angry. You've been trying to persuade me, but I'm not angry. Persuasion is useless to President Su. President Su only has eyes for Miss Hua, both in the past and in the future. That sounds like something a human would say. Suyu nodded, not denying it. Soon the car stopped in front of Suyu's private mansion. Suyu went in and took a shower before going to bed. But he was too excited to fall asleep. He secretly logged into his Weibo account to see if Huamin had posted anything. But he was disappointed. Huamin hadn't posted anything for a long time. He went to WeChat Moments and found Huamin still hadn't posted anything. With her personality, she rarely posted anything. She wasn't like the female stars in his company. Those women knew that Suyu had WeChat. Every day they would post pictures of delicious food and beautiful scenery. Most of them were selfies. They even wanted to take off all their clothes, but Suyu blocked them. Nye Lingxian was the most normal one. Occasionally she would post some interesting things about the crew or promote her new work. Suyu opened Huamin's WeChat and wanted to say something, even if it was just a good night. However, he was afraid that if he did that he would put Huamin in a difficult position. After all, she was with Qin Chu. It was not good to overthink things. Therefore she struggled for 5 minutes. She wrote and deleted and wrote again, wrote and deleted again. After a long time, Suyu still didn't say anything. South Hill Manor, seeing that Huamin had returned, the whole family was extremely excited. Yang Merong hugged her daughter and burst into tears. My poor child, why did you have to go through so much trouble? That bastard Jingde didn't bless you. But you're finally back. Otherwise how could Jixin and I live? Mom, I'm fine. Don't cry. Your heart isn't good. Mian, is the baby okay? Yang Merong didn't know that Huamin had a second child. She's fine. The little one is very naughty. She's moving like a little fish in her stomach. He's very funny. Huamin smiled. Mommy, were Sis and I like this when we were little? Little Bean asked curiously. Yeah. You two were even naughtier than this one. When you kicked me I was so scared that I trembled. Huamin smiled. It's good that you're back. Law, don't cry. It's good that the kids are fine. This is good news. Qin Chu's father comforted Huamin's mother. Yeah, you're right. It's good that the kids are back. Yang Meirong wiped away her tears. Mom, I want to eat your spring pancakes and fried shredded potatoes. Huamin hugged his mother's arm coquettishly. Chapter 3191. Of course. I'll make anything for you, Yang Meirong said as she patted her daughter's hand. Sis, even if you want to eat the stars in the sky, I'll pick them for you, Jixin said with a smile. Go away, little brat. Don't be so rude, Yang Meirong scolded her son. Grandma. Mommy is always worrying, right? Little Bean sat in her grandmother's arms. That's right. Your mother always makes people worry. But I heard that all geniuses are like this. They're naughty and mischievous. Uncle is always worrying, but Uncle is stupid. Little Bean laughed. Hey little girl, you're just mocking Uncle. Jixin flicked Little Bean's head. It's time to eat. Everyone come and sit down. Eating again. I can't eat anymore. Little Bean touched her round belly. They spent the whole afternoon at Green Tea Restaurant and ate a lot of fruits and desserts with Gao Buyuan, Wei Yunchu and the other kids. Now that Grandma mentioned eating, Little Bean almost vomited. You don't know how to control yourself. You always overeat. Pudding said. I can't control my mouth, Little Bean said matter-of-factly. Then don't complain that you're fat. I'm not complaining. Buyuan likes fat women. You're too thin. He just doesn't like you. I don't need him to like me, Pudding retorted. Mommy. Look, Pudding said I. Little Bean began to complain again. Little Bean, you can't even handle your sister. Will you continue to be bullied when you have your second child? Jixin laughed at her. Humph, that's impossible. When the second child is born, we'll bully him together. Little Bean said. Okay, stop arguing. I'm having a headache. Huamin tried to calm them down. Mian, since you're pregnant, you should rest well, Qin Chu's uncle reminded her. Okay, uncle. I'll be careful. Originally, I wanted to ask Chu to take you to live there for a while. Coincidentally, I have some business there that I need Chu to help me deal with. Ever since Ning Ning started dating and came back to China, I've been really busy. But now it seems like he can't leave because you're pregnant. It's all right, second uncle. If you need anything, I'll let him go over to help you. Huamin said. That won't do. The last time you were pregnant, Chu wasn't by your side. This time, no matter what, he has to accompany you throughout the pregnancy. The words of Qin Chu's second uncle warmed Huamin's heart. To be honest, the members of the Qin family were not bad. They were all reasonable people. After your second child is born, I'll give you a villa in Los Angeles. You can stay there when your children study abroad. Dad, you're thinking too far ahead. My brother and sister-in-law's child isn't even born yet. You're already thinking about studying abroad? Qin Ning laughed at her father. There's no rush. The The quality of the houses here is good. Many of them are over 100 years old and are very sturdy. When the second child grows up, it'll only be 17 or 18 years. Mion, I'll give you a villa in Los Angeles as a greeting gift. That won't do. It's too expensive, second uncle. Huamin immediately refused. Sis-in-law, don't mention it. My dad is very rich, Qin Ning said. You damned girl, are you trying to scam me? Qin Ning's father glanced at his daughter. Dad, if sis-in-law gives birth to a boy, won't it be too stingy of you to give him a villa? Qin Ning said deliberately. If Mion can give birth to a boy, I'll give him 20% of my shares. Well, that's generous. Qin Ning exclaimed. No, second uncle. I can't take your shares. It wasn't easy for you to build up your business. Huamin didn't dare to accept his uncle's kindness. Second grandpa, you're too biased. Do you favor boys over girls? My sister and I are so nice to you. We even peeled pistachios for you. You ungrateful wretch. Humph. Little Bean immediately pointed at Qin Chu's second uncle in dissatisfaction. Chapter 3192. Haha. Oh my. Our Little Bean is going to rebel. Qin Chu's uncle laughed as he picked Little Bean up with one hand. Rebel. You're being biased. The second child isn't even born yet and Grandpa has already given us so many good things. Grandpa also saved some for you and your sister. Really? Little Bean's eyes lit up. Of course. When have I ever lied to you? Qin Chu's uncle pinched the tip of Little Bean's nose, his eyes full of love. It was said that no matter how cold-blooded and ruthless people were when they were young, once they got older they would become more gentle. After having a younger generation they would become gentler. Grandpa Su was like that. In the Qin family, Qin Chu's second uncle was the same. Ah, that's more like it. I told you that my sister and I didn't show our filial piety to Grandpa for nothing. Little Bean cleverly tried to smooth things over. Little girl, you're going to cheat your grandpa of all his money sooner or later. Are you going to let me starve then? Qin Ning teased Little Bean on purpose. Of course not. Auntie, you're making it sound like Uncle Tang's family is short of money. Oh, you little brat. You can deal with one sentence of mine with 10 sentences. That's impressive. After Huamin came back, the atmosphere in the family was harmonious. After dinner, he wanted his mother and Jixin to stay at home since there were plenty of guest rooms. However, his mother refused and insisted on going back. Finally, Jixin drove Bella and his mother out of South Hill Manor. Before leaving, Yang Myung didn't forget to hold Huamin's hand and say, Mion, you're pregnant now. You should go to bed early. Be careful when you shower. The floor is too slippery. Mom, I know. I'll be careful. Huamin nodded. Finally, the old lady left with peace of mind. Later, Huamin and Qin Chu coaxed the twins to sleep. Perhaps it was because they hadn't seen their mommy for too long. The twins were very excited. One moment they asked Huamin to tell them stories and the next moment they asked for ice cream. They made the couple run around in circles. In the end, it was already 11:30 p.m. when the two of them fell asleep. Huamin and Qin Chu finally returned to their rooms, exhausted. She hadn't been home for so many years. Now that she was back, she was filled with happiness as soon as she stepped into her bedroom. The couple who studied medicine had severe mysophobia, so the room was always spotless. Even if it was a blind spot, there would not be any dust accumulated. When Huamin came out of the shower, Qin Chu wiped her hair with a dry towel. Are you tired? Qin Chu asked softly. I'm not tired. I'm so happy to see my family and friends. Huamin smiled. Yes, everyone is happy that you're back. It means that I'm still quite important. I used to think that even without me the earth would still rotate, Huamin joked. Without you the earth would still rotate. It's just that my world can't rotate, Qin Chu said seriously. Huamin's heart ached. She knew that something had happened to her this time. The person who was the saddest was definitely Qin Chu. She had just come back, so she didn't ask in detail. However, during dinner she vaguely heard Zhu Lingling say that she was dragged off a cliff by Hu Xiqian. Qin Chu vomited blood and fainted on the spot. Later, Qin Chu casually said that he would be fine after sleeping for a few days. Perhaps things weren't that simple. Huamin knew Qin Chu's temper. He must have been afraid that she would be worried, so he downplayed the matter. At that thought, Huamin suddenly turned around and hugged Qin Chu's neck so tightly that it was difficult for him to breathe. What's wrong, honey? Qin Chu didn't know how to react to her sudden action. You're tuning in to the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.